test. Have you ever done some of those?
Yeah.
There's free ones
I
online
have
or whatever.
several
There's
times.
some ones you can pay for. Yeah, me too. I've done different ones. And I remember when
It
I was
comes
out
out
in
the
Reno,
same every time, so I'm thinking it might be a little bit accurate.
might be accurate. Yeah. I was leading a small group at my house of just people from our church. It wasn't just worship team members, but there were some worship team members in my group, and we would meet. And I can't remember. We must have been going through Ephesians, and in the book there was like some sort of like spiritual gifts test at the end that you could take, and so I encouraged my group to take it, and so obviously I took it as part of the leader, and I'm like looking through it, and I remember one of the ones that came out that I was like, I don't know about that one, was the gift of faithfulness. And I was like, I don't know. And then I read the description, and essentially the way I would kind of break it down is that it was something about how I believed in the sovereignty of God. You know what I mean? Or that no matter what was going on, I believed that God was still working the things out for the good of those who, follow him and seek his will. And there's nothing I can't say, oh, I've intentionally tried to be faithful. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing in me that, like, I would say, yeah, I'm a faithful person. No, that's not it. But I have always had this desire had this idea and true belief that God's in control. And if and whatever the outcome is, I mean, it must have been God's will because he's in control. You know what I mean? Like, and so when I look at all this stuff, I go, man, I kind of with you. I don't know why God allows certain things to happen, and why I moved my family out to Missouri to be close to my dad and spend time with him, and why a year and a half later after I moved out here, like, he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, what was that for?
Mm-hmm.
There's an element, there's the human side of me that goes, what the heck, God? Like, why? What are we doing? Right. But then there is still a side of me that goes, no, I know you're sovereign. Like, I know you're good.
Yeah.
And I don't truly understand it, and I'm not sure if I ever will, but like, that's just a belief I have. And it's something that I've had a hard time explaining to my mom and my sister. I have a twin sister, so we had the same exact upbringing, and she's having some challenges, obviously, continuing with it. My mom's doing okay. And I've tried to explain to them, like, I don't know how to tell you that, like, I just trust God. Like I know it feels like we shouldn't, because he just took,
and
he allowed this to happen.
Level, I think that level of trust cultivates for sure over time, right? The more times you see God, you're able to look back and be like, oh, that's why, right? Because that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People go through these seasons, and then they look back and they're like, oh, now I get. But in the midst of it, they don't know. And honestly, for a long time, and sometimes you never get to know. So, but I think going through those, it's like working out, right? The more you do it, the more you realize you adapt to it, and you realize, okay, and you can trust God for this one because you saw how faithful he was in the last one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, faithfulness is one of the gifts of the Spirit. And I think that faithfulness is it's a little different than the cultivated faith that we grow in and we learn. It's a supernatural just blessing of, I'm going to allow you to have peace, whatever his reasons are to give you that gift that he's going to use. I think that it's similar, but I think it's a different thing when it's a direct gift of the Spirit. Everybody has at least one gift of the Spirit, and not everybody knows what theirs are. They should seek that out and try to find. And some people have multiple gifts, and that's fine. But that gift of faithfulness, I would say, is a blessing above and beyond long-term cultivated faithfulness, because it kind of comes on the scene when you get the Spirit.
Yeah.
Right. The second you become Christian, he bestows this gift.